Hello everyone, welcome back. Heba here. Today I will be exploring just the basics. This is an intro because this is a multi-series topic, possibly 2 or 3 parts to it. But today I'm going to focus on introducing to you the concept of manifestation mechanics that ties into ascension mechanics. They go hand in hand because when we are able to manifest, the manifestation result is tied into ascension. It is an expansion of awareness and it is an expansion of consciousness that helps us to transmute from lower realms of matter to higher spiritual realms. So there's key things that we need to do in order to gain that, or regain, I should say, that potential to manifest. And hopefully we could come to a point as intended originally within the template of angelic humans is to be able to manifest and demanifest at will. So today I will be explaining those mechanics, the idea and the concept of becoming timeless and returning to timeless organic template, and what is it that keeps us stuck here. And I will also introduce a new concept that you may have heard of or possibly not, and it's about opening the heart and healing the heart node, because it's an important convergent point where everything comes together and ties in together to that point of stillness, and it happens in the heart. So I will expand on that concept in maybe today, maybe the next episode. So I will start today by first explaining the trapezoid module. What is this? It's the lower realm, and it's governed by lower level emotional intelligence, or lack of, I should say. So it's a manifestation of ignorance from the collective mind, and it keeps us stuck in the realm of effect rather than cause. So it's like someone who is trapped somewhere and feel that they need to pray to be saved. And that's the only way that they can be saved, is to pray. So giving the power to an external force to save the person from the suffering. Okay, so this mentality, of course, subscribes to the notion that we are governed and we are ruled by outside forces, and manifestation has already occurred. It's not something that we have any control over. So people become therefore trapped in this trapezoid. If you want to sort of form maybe a visual in your mind, you can see this as a pyramid structure. It is used in satanic rituals amongst many other occultist groups, and on talismans like the dollar bills and things. This is to keep the human mind, body and soul enslaved to the higher powers. So it's a triangle method, and I quote here from mceo, I quote, "Being trapped in analysis that has nothing to do with the solution. People trapped in political analysis, the realm of effect, occultically, is where there is no power to create change because manifestation has already occurred," unquote. So this gives you a bit of an idea of what that means. And I'm coming to, just bear with me because I'm tying this into why our ability to manifest has been circumvented. We've been taught manifestation in a very inverted manner, a very twisted manner. We have been told manifestation occurs from you wanting something so much, and therefore it becomes a subjective thing. And it's not really, or it's not merely a subjective thing. It does include that, but it's not entirely accurate to say that. So there is a problem because people give their power away to outside forces, and therefore they give their power to be analytical and empower themselves, so they're not aligning mind, body and intentions correctly. The realm of disempowerment is the realm of the effect, whereas the realm of empowerment is the realm of cause, because then you can be, if you're empowered, you can be the cause point in your life. And so we are bound to return in heaps and bounds to the realm of effect We're governed, we're ruled, we're subjugated and controlled. And this is exactly what the realm of effect is. And it ties into fate, the idea, the notion of fate as well, that everything is the way it's intended to be, and we have no power to control anything. And the idea here is not control, it's creation. But controlled creation is a thing as well. So bear with me while I introduce you to those concepts. So sovereignty is a key word that very few people actually truly know what it means. It's actually a multifaceted word. It does not mean to go and beg for your rights. It doesn't mean to go and fight and take your rights back. It means understanding and recognizing where and when your rights were taken and not giving them away in the first place. But since this has occurred already, then sovereignty becomes then about expanding the self, expanding oneself, coming out of disempowerment and into the realm of consciousness, pure consciousness, to a point where one may be able to evolve their free will naturally, to be able to hold space for others to be able to evolve as well, without being pushed, without being influenced, so that one has no power over them. And occultically, this is akin to being that eye of the pyramid. The core intelligence is knowing the difference, knowing what the meaning of that one eye symbolism is, because it's been inverted. But this is the nature of the human angelic mind, is having that gnosis, having the discernment, having the sovereignty, being able to exercise objective morality freely without having to harm, stomp on people during the process to get to the top, because then it becomes about control. This is a very inverted way of using knowledge. Whereas the proper one eye symbolism is not about power, it's about discernment, it's about going into core intelligence and true gnosis. It's the remembering that you are the cause and you are the effect in your life. Okay, and this further, of course, becomes the recipe to being able to manifest at will. Because when you understand the mechanics of manifestation, you become aware of the cause point and the effect, and that what you put out is a result of what's happening in your own template, not an effect, not the effect or decisions or choices of someone else's, and certainly doesn't belong to a hierarchy. No one's above you. It should not be a doing created by this illusory power structure that has been often conveyed as unescapable. It's unescapable. That's what most people believe, that we can't escape this structure. So, manifestation is simply a spiritual alignment. It is coupled with other core things like core intelligence, free will, person's ability to discern and exercise objective morality. So you manifest better, actually, if you manifest for the greater good. Not just work to manifest or aspire to manifest subjectively without any regard to the collective. This isn't true manifestation. This becomes self-centeredness. This is separation. So whilst you still acquire things for yourself during the process, it's not entirely about a subjective desire in isolation to the whole. So therefore, when you try to manifest from a subjective reality, something that only you would benefit from, your manifestation is lacking. It's not even manifestation, it's just luck and a little bit of mental, physical, emotional alignment without spirituality that may give you instant rewards and gratifications, but it's never long lasting. Simply because, and I will explain this a lot more in depth, But the simple reason for that is you are not aligned spiritually with the collective sovereign good and needs, and therefore it is never going to be a permanent lasting thing. Now, the freedom teachings teach us about the concept of fall. So what is fall? Fall is basically beings who fall on a lower frequency. They fall into lower frequencies. Okay? People who fall, they cannot manifest. People who fall are called the fallen ones. How do they get what they want? They obtain it. They chase it. They steal it. They force others to surrender their free will so that they can obtain benefit. They have no means, they have no ability to manifest because they are not aligned. Because manifestation is simply a sacred act. And I will elaborate on this throughout today's talk. But yeah, so people don't really understand fall. They think, oh, we just fell, like physically fell. But what it is a fall in frequency. And how do we fall in frequency? There's one key thing here that we must learn to identify is the main reason we fall in frequency is because we fall into a game. It's so easy to see, yet a lot of people miss it. It's the game of polarity, the polarity consciousness game. So that ties in with the perception that reality is defined by opposite forces, by opposition. And that means positive versus negative, negative versus positive. It's a dynamic that's a continuous interplay, okay? And it's never ending. It's a loop. It's the Ouroboros. This is the positive negative game that's always there to keep us in a loop. This dynamic, in fact, creates significant damage. It creates fragmentation in our awareness level, pulling us away from our wholeness, the wholeness of who we are. So many people believe that God created good and evil and that God just wanted it to be like this. He created Satan, he created the angelics, and it's partially true, but grossly incorrect. It's very, very misunderstood. Source didn't create evil or negativity as opposing forces to fight one another. Source allowed polarity as a mechanics for experiencing growth and reflection within the spectrum of experience. So polarity, in fact, exists within Source, but Source is not bound by it. This is the status we are trying to attain, is to remember that although polarity exists within us, we are not bound by polarity. Polarity, in fact, is actually nestled within the wholeness, and it's not separate from it. So day and light are nestled within each other, tied to one another, but we don't have to be bound by the effects of the polarity. We don't have to choose sides. Manifestation, demanifestation are cycles within the holographic projection. It's a sacred dance of density, sound, and light. But to master manifestation, we must stop projecting from the unconscious mind, from the unconscious polarity, and instead embody the frequency of our original purpose, because our original purpose is grand. And so let me just explain something important that is happening now on a planetary level, because I keep remembering things that I have to mention first before I really go deep into manifestation mechanics. What's happening on a planetary level? There's a collective activation unfolding right now, whether we're ready for it or not. It is unfolding. Frequencies from Earth templates are actually entering our bodies, and they're awakening dormant sensory receptors. They're activating codes within our DNA. In essence, we are remembering. This shift is not a something small. It's actually a massive trigger event triggered by frequencies we are being beamed by. It's causing a transformation in every layer of humanity, with our thoughts, with our relationships. Our dreams are changing, our biology. Even lately, I'm not sure about how many of you are feeling it, but I'm feeling major time glitches. This is happening right now, whether we're ready or not, whether we see it or not. Now, as you integrate higher frequencies, more of our consciousness anchors into our body. So yes, we are being upgraded, but not in the way it's been portrayed in New Age circles. We're just getting all beamed, we're all having an upgrade. It doesn't work like that. There's something called alignment. If you're not aligned, you will not receive the frequency adjustment. Whatever you like to call it, adjustment, upgrade, it's up to you, but it's the same thing. It's a shift. You're not feeling the shift, at least not toward the positive timeline. And the thing is, this isn't passive. It's actually both passive and active, which means you have to sort of willfully engage in it, but it's also happening in the background. It is both. But it's rewriting your energy field. Your DNA is changing, your perceptions are expanding. You're beginning to embody aspects of your multi-dimensional self. And a lot of people aren't aware of this happening. They just know something is, they just cannot pinpoint it because they lack the, spiritual knowledge. And I don't say this in like a disrespectful way. What I'm trying to say is they just don't understand how the spiritual realms operate. And so basically, this is all happening to them very passively. They don't know why this is happening. Some things have majorly shifted, but why, they do not know. It's all about, once we understand how spiritual energy works, then it becomes a matter of integration. Integration is a major step along the way, because at every juncture, at every point, we have to stop and reassess and analyze and discern. And then we have to do something called integrative work. This requires care, because you cannot force higher frequencies into a body that isn't prepared. You may receive glimpses of upgrades or activations, but it's not going to be the entire thing, because basically, if the body is unprepared, the activations aren't going to be fulfilled the way they should be. Activations are usually invited, nurtured, and honored, but only through alignment, through decision, through willpower. Now, what is also happening is dimensions are blending. So the boundaries between dimensions and timelines are fading away, and therefore what is happening is accelerated timelines. Our thoughts and emotions are no longer delayed in their effect. Sometimes, so in the, say, 20 years ago, we think something, many weeks later, we see some sort of reflection of that thought or that thing that we put out. Could be a dream, could be a prophetic thing, could be something telepathic. Nowadays, you think it and instantly it happens. So there is no more delayed effect. That means timelines, that means the boundaries between dimensions are thinning. So in other words, we are manifesting a lot more rapidly. And when we manifest a lot more rapidly, something very important we need to take care of, and that is responsibility. Because that means every one of your thoughts is manifesting very, very quickly. So then it becomes an issue of, okay, what do you want to manifest? So then a lot of us manifests or think of something and instantly it starts to happen. So there's a greater responsibility in how we hold, shape, and emit frequency and thoughts, and that all ties into what we see in the world happen. And it's very dangerous, but it's also beautiful at the same time. What I want to say about manifestation also is that we hear this a lot in the New Age and in just general discussions where people just want to manifest, but they don't really know the mechanics behind it and the energetic consequence. So they think, if I wished it, and deep down from my emotional body, put so much emotion into it, then it's bound to happen. Okay, that's called wishful thinking. But manifestation is actually a precise, embodied process that engages several layers, several aspects of our being, from physics. So it's a formula, physics formula, because it ties into how you utilize your energy in the physical, emotional, mental. In essence, it's your first density of yourself. But also it engages your entire 5 densities, all densities of your multidimensional identities or your multidimensional being. And the problem is that most manifestation teachings operate only from the astral plane, which is the 4th dimensional mental emotional field. It is a level lacking the power and precision to actually really project into matter reliably. So manifestation from this plane, it brings fleeting outcomes. So you will get that thing that you really want. You'll get that beautiful vase or that, you'll get that beautiful house or whatever, but it's really lacking true anchoring in reality and permanency. So besides, it may also lack purpose for you in the long term because it wasn't something that you were spiritually aligned with. It came from your lower identity levels. The trick to manifestation, also something you were not told about in New Age teachings, is integration. Without the integration of all layers, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, you won't be able to directly manifest with conscious authority. Thoughts must be first seated in the core of your beings and not just a passing impression in the astral mind. It's not just a feeling, feel it. And, it's not just that. It's not just a thought. It's much more grand than that. The heart is the heart is in fact the central projector, the point of light from which your reality is broadcast. And if blocked, it distorts and suppresses this projection process. So you can manifest abundance with a blocked heart? Absolutely not. An activated and balanced heart center is essential in creating the field, the premise for projection and manifestation. We cannot project from a blocked heart. We can come into a clear field of love, acceptance, and compassion through which true abundance is magnetized, but that has to be a healed heart. Because overactivation of the heart node may lead to codependence and sacrifice of the self, whereas underactivation can manifest as withdrawal, criticism, loneliness, apathy, emotional isolation, even lack of empathy. So the balance is key to manifestation. That's something we should remember, is that balance is always a key to manifestation. A balanced heart chakra is very important, very key thing here. which people often forget about when they want to manifest something. They just go from emotions alone and thoughts. But a balanced heart chakra is very, very important because it enables clear boundaries, authentic giving, and unconditional broadcast of love to all beings without falling into patterns of energy leakage or spiritual bypassing. From this foundation, abundance becomes a natural expression of your vibrational truth. The heart chakra balance is very important, especially that it is closely linked with the throat chakra. It becomes very important in manifestation and a key premise to enabling that potential. But if you're feeling blocked, don't despair. It's not like you'll never be able to manifest. There are always gentle yet powerful practices available to restore the original blueprint of your heart center. So, I'd be able to help you if you reach out. Now, as DNA begins to activate beyond the third strand, so we go into the heart and then, the throat chakra and then pineal gland, and we don't go up like it's often portrayed as a step up. It's an expansion. Okay, so we shift from a frequency to the next. We shift from a singular vector perception to multi-vector awareness. So we start to think of the we instead of the I. We begin to perceive manifestation as a flickering projection. Even our senses find it difficult to catch up to. Matter, as you know, flashes on and off in a sacred rhythm, held in place by patterns of vibration, certain patterns of vibration that form the hologram that we perceive. So we create that thought form, and then within this act, you mirror the mechanics of source itself. Like, example, closing the eyes, forming an inner image, and then we align with source energy, and source will take a part in manifesting a dream that comes into form. It's like we're co-creating with source, and the entire cosmic structure becomes a dimensional play of source knowing itself through us, through individuation. This is the original intention for creation. In order to to experience creation, a polarized universe was necessary. Particle and antiparticle, magnetic, electrical, contraction, expansion, fission, fusion, positive, negative, to allow for this holographic reality to be projected so we may feel, express, learn, remember. Not to repeat lessons over and over, come back in loops and never be able to exit. But the difference is how we view polarity. Because source doesn't fear polarity, source is in it but not offered. Source remains whole while immersed in that contrast. So even if the universe implodes, fragmenting into pure consciousness, these fragments are still never separated. Even in space dust, fragmented templates, they're never separated from source. They remain within source. But the consequence of the polarity led them to another realm where they're not able to remember who they are for a long time to come. Okay, so polarity therefore becomes the game that we must understand, fully recognize, and eventually step out of. When we cease to judge polarity or judge something, we stop resisting, clinging to one side or another, and then when you don't do that, the opposing energies come together. When they come together, they transmute, meaning particle and antiparticle meet. When they meet, it becomes antimatter. And that enables the ascension to the next octave or the next level of experience. This is an art. This is a physics. This is science. This is the whole purpose of religion before it became corrupt. This is sacred text. So the art of expansion itself does not lie in rejection or detachment or attachment. It actually anchors in harmonization, in unconditional love. All things are held parts of the whole. Love is not passive. It's not about grasping. It's not about letting go. It is about still point. It is about engaging with detachment. So engaging with detachment, I like that. It's engaging with a level of detachment. So we're not becoming obsessed about something, but we're not letting it fully go either and resisting it. We are allowing that contrast to come together so it can be transmuted. This is where we manifest from. This is how we ascend. We ascend from that point of knowing the polarity game and stepping out of the polarity game. So, unlike we are being taught in New Age circles, we do not manifest through spiritual bypassing or endless, relentless positivity. We ascend by understanding the polarity drama, transcending the reactivity of the emotional body, the habits, reactive patterns, and accessing that still point of Manu, the 0 point field beyond polarity where source resides, the space of the void, the still point. Source holds both polarity and wholeness simultaneously, like a womb that births contrast, but never losing its unity and wholeness. It's the same thing. So now I want to talk about the steps towards manifestation, and I'll make this, I'm going to be a little bit general here because this first episode is an intro. And as I make further episodes, I will put more depth in each of the explanations. So how do we manifest, or steps towards manifestation? It begins by alignment, because alignment is not powerful. It's not a power struggle. It's about joy. It's becoming joyful. To fulfill our purpose here, we must integrate all aspects of the self, and it's not limited to, but as a minimum, it should include your mental, your thoughts, your emotions, your low emotions, all of your emotions, your physical, your body has to be aligned, which means you take action. We don't just sit back and manifest. We have to take action. Very, very important. We take action, at least first step, and spiritual too. So the concepts, the mindset, everything that we have learned to be true, we must be ready to let go of those concepts and relearn everything and remember and activate DNA. Joy arises not from avoidance, but from embodiment. So embodying the whole, integrating the shadow. And many teachings today encourage ignoring the mental body, focusing only on the heart, intention, opening the heart, and you manifest. It's very polarized view, dangerous in my opinion. Without mental integration, without emotional, spiritual alignment, without integrity, without objective morality, true manifestation cannot be achieved. So that's very important because it creates codependence on fourth dimensional illusions, which are, the things that pop up in our heart realm that we often get so false positivity. Open your heart to everyone, accept everyone. these things do not create the premise for true manifestation. It becomes a codependency, and it siphons energetic strength from you while keeping the others alive that want blissful ignorance. It is an intellectual as much as it is a non-intellectual process. It's spiritual and it's materialistic. It's physical and it's non-physical. It's everything. It's manifestation through all 5 density levels. So to shift from gross matter density into higher states of embodiment, one must truly integrate consciousness from all these multidimensional fields. This transmutation allows us to ascend through matter, evolve the body, and reclaim mastery over the manifest experience. Another thing that we must understand when it comes to true manifestation, there's a lot of steps, but we can break it down to simple little pieces and give it some time, reflect on it, journal about it, and then start to put it together slowly. And it happens. As soon as you align your word with your thought, with your actions, life will change for you. But it has to be, like I said, not a very subjective thing, like I just want to manifest a car and work all your life to manifest a car. I mean, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But when you can manifest for the greater good, you're including yourself in that too. And it's not seen as a self-centered, selfish thing. It's much more greater than this, greater purpose, and it has much more greater value because you are part of the whole. If the whole falls, there is no way you're going to survive that. So therefore, why not take other people with you? Why not think in terms of a collective consciousness? So in order to truly manifest, we must understand where we are in cycles of time. We must understand not as a ticking clock, time in a linear fashion, but we must understand time as actually a living cycle. When you can understand and realize that creation never began, it always was. It actually has no ending, no beginning. It is perpetual, ongoing, and eternal. And the only thing that exists is the now. The true moment that exists, that is the now. What we call linear time is merely a holographic illusion, a reaction between our body's template and the unified field of consciousness surrounding it. It's part of the design of the step-down creation. We step down, project our consciousness down into several fields, sometimes one experiencing all at the same time, but it's all happening in the now. Every timeline, every cycle, every point of creation is taking place now. Because your highest point of creation, your being, your highest identity, is stationed in that higher realm, unchanging. And you are a manifestation of that. But here, where you stand, you're seeing those little bits of information come together, and there is a time lapse between them because your brain cannot process them all at once. So you're experiencing them fragmented, really, those little bits of information. And therefore, you're experiencing time in a linear fashion. So when we step down, we project a part of ourselves into a particular space, then becomes a time cycle. And so from the higher point, you witness it all happening simultaneously. So time is not a line, it's not linear, it is a space, it is a field, it is a spectrum through which consciousness can travel, shift, and align. Now, if you use those time cycles to your advantage, you align with time the way it's intended to. You align your spiritual values with it, your power of will, your integrity, spiritual integrity, your thoughts, your actions, your intentions. I think I said that before, intentions. intentions is everything. So I will say it twice and more. I keep repeating, intentions is everything. That's why it's important to heal the heart. So the moment we can align, that moment becomes a moment of creation, creative ability. And so the moment of transformation happens at any moment in time when we're aligned. So there is no beginning and there will be no end. It's all in the now. And so the power to manifest is always in the now. So then it comes down to just aligning, attaining pure alignment. And another thing that I want to talk about is also part of steps towards manifestation, is also knowing who you are. It's very important because often people miss that opportunity because they don't know who they are and what they want. So now we're going to do just a simple technique. I invite you to do it. You don't have to, but if you like to. It's just about knowing who you are. So therefore, I invite you to pause and contemplate on the following. Ask yourself in your mind, who am I? Take a deep breath. Breathe in the question. Hold the breath in. Let it build charge. See what comes up, any clues, feelings, emotions, thoughts, visions, sensations that forms a clue as to the answer. Breathe it out and see the answer through, maybe you'd hear the answer, you feel the answer, you see it, maybe it comes up on the screen of the mind as a visual. Who am I? The next thing is, what do I really, really, really want? Again, breathe it in. Hold it in. You're gently holding it in. You're not forcing that hold. And if you feel that's impacting you physically, then just release the breath slowly. Don't have to hold for long. Exhale it out and just let the answer come. Now what we're doing here is we're using the breath as a mechanism to bring remembrance, to bring deep remembrance, because manifestation is actually not an outward effort. It is tied into deep remembrance, and therefore we have to and we must manifest from intention. But to manifest from intention, we must know who we are and what we want. Now, the next question is, again, I invite you to close your eyes or keep them open, whatever you like. Breathe in. Breathe in the question, how do I create a new life? Slowly exhale and allow the remembrance to come through. Now, if you've received any clues, you're welcome to write them down or watch the episode first and then later journal about them, or maybe not this time, maybe next time. It's really as simple as that. But it is further reinforced, and you can actually expedite the process by doing this at least twice a day. You're sending a message, even if you're not receiving anything, you're sending a message to your deep mind that you would like that information to come to surface and aid you in that process of evolution. because manifestation, what we're manifesting is evolution. We're manifesting something that some people want to manifest material things, but even the material things are ultimately an aid to one's evolution, because you can either have good or negative, positive or negative, although we don't want to assign values to anything. But not sure how to explain this otherwise, but it could be something that may bring you suffering. It could bring you pure joy and happiness. Yet there is something there that we must learn from this experience, even if it's something materialistic. So we shouldn't judge other people that want to manifest something different. So if I want to manifest to help people heal, not everyone shares the same purpose. Some people want a house, some people want this or this, but we all are on our own individual journeys. Therefore, we should really refrain from judging others. And remember, when we judge as opposed to discern, what we're doing is we are creating polarity in the mind. So we should just take a moment back, come to neutral, still point, and then just start again. Ask the questions concerning yourself. Stick to your own template. Okay. Now you must know that vision begins in the mind. Therefore, when we want to envision something in the mind mustn't be busy thinking about things. Also, you need to be aware if what you're manifesting or trying to manifest is tied into other people's dreams. Maybe you've seen someone, a neighbor, sister, brother, somebody, friend, buy something and you really like it. But there could be an element of envy behind it. So instead of, going after what is truly organically yours, you start to want to manifest something to compete or to match others. Everyone's on their own unique journey. Manifestation begins from a silenced mind and not in a forceful manner. We can't forcefully make the mind be still. But what we can do, though, and we have a full choice, is to silence the mind by not assigning values to things. So disengaging from polarity drama. You must create the ideal vision of your future business or purpose first in your mind from a still point. Hold it with sincerity, without obsession, without detachment. Just hold it in your mind with passion, with sincerity. And you don't need all the details of it at once, like what color, what shape, how many employees if it's a business. You just need to have an idea of what you really want and for what purpose. And this forms an energetic sketch of your soul's desire. In states of deep meditation, the boundaries of your body will dissolve, and that's very highly important as we go into space of stillness, because in states of deep meditation, the boundaries of the body dissolve. And what arises is the paradox of expansion, the realization that the universe is not outside of you, but it is you. Everything, chaos or harmony, manifesting in your life is manifesting from your own template. Every perception is springing from your inner creation, from your inner landscape. You are here and everywhere. You're multidimensional. You're woven throughout the fields of creation, and there is no place in which you don't already exist. Say this again. There is no place in which we already exist. So as we enter that sacred stillness of the still point, the fire of discriminative wisdom begins to work. This is the core intelligence. It's sacred wisdom. It begins to work when we enter the point of sacred stillness. How do we do that? We do it through the breath, through intention. When we enter sacred stillness, we begin burning away old patterns, old habits, conditioning, false paradigms. We pierce the veils of illusion. And what remains is the witnessing I. the eye that's undisturbed, that doesn't change, that observes the shifting dreamscape of waking and sleeping states. It's the one that sees you while you dream and the one that sees you while you're awake. And both of them are you and more. Everything's you. This eye is the divine essence. Its nature is silence. It's something that does not flee or you don't need to grasp, pursue, try to attach to, try to detach to. It's always there. It's the backdrop. It simply is. So this is where true manifestation occurs. This is where true manifestation originates. This is the void. This is the Manu. This is very important. So that's first step of manifestation, is coming into still point. Second is we have to do some active work now, and we have to bring in to alignment the mind, the body, the emotions, and your spiritual body, all into coherence and alignment with your vision. That vision that you've had before, you have to bring your mind into it, your thoughts. You have to bring the feeling into it. You have to bring in your body into it too. You have to take the essential steps to create it. And if you want a big bank account, you need to do some sort of action. It doesn't just fall off the trees. You need to do some action. You need to take that first step. So there may be delays and setbacks, but there's always going to be a shift. The time, in fact, responds to readiness, not to desire. If you're ready to receive it, you will. Not because you dreamt it, not because you desired it, but because you're ready, because you're aligned. And this becomes the main premise for manifestation. So you have your souls, your emotions, your mind all aligned in the now, not in future. That's going to be in the future, not in the past, in the now. No tricks, no gimmicks. It must be genuine alignment. Can't trick it. You can't trick the body. You can't trick the mind. You have to be fully aligned with it deep down on a subconscious, conscious, and an ultra-conscious level. And your alignment must include accountability. You must know where you are projecting from. If you're projecting from unhealed aspects of yourself, from a place of trauma, example, I've never been better than my brother. I want to manifest this so I can be better than my brother. This is an example. This is manifesting from an unhealed aspect of you. You can't manifest from that point. You have to manifest from genuine alignment with your mission, vision, and goals. And you cannot manifest from a reverse template. Like I said before, if you're fallen in frequency, you can't manifest from that point. You can't manifest from a place of victimization, from an unhealed trauma, unhealed wounds. You can't manifest from separation and abandonment wounds. You can't manifest from no one helps me, from disempowerment. Therefore, I want to do it all on my own. This is a disempowered mentality. You can't manifest from an unhealed place and from a victim mindset. So you need to change your thoughts. You need to heal. Now, that's the second thing. So alignment. So first is still point. Second is alignment. Third thing is to match the frequency. We catch the time wave. We catch that frequency, we align, we manifest. It's not as simple as that, but that's, in a nutshell. Manifestation is actually a vibrational phenomenon. Thoughts, words, and actions must vibrate at the levels of which you wish to attract. Because you cannot manifest gold if, for example, you are settling in your mind and subconscious for silver. If you subconsciously want silver, but you're asking for gold, your body will not respond to your subconscious and possibly not at all, because there is a mismatch. It has to be the exact frequency of that thing that you wish to manifest. Okay, so first still point, second alignment, third is matching the frequency, fourth is embodying the lifestyle, clearing clutter internally and externally, form a very good hygienic, energetically hygiene space. Surround yourself with people who align with your vision, with patterns, with spaces, with places that nourish your vision, and not capsize it, not turn against you, not weigh you down, not tell you that you cannot do it, not tell you that you're not good enough for it. You want to clean the clutter. By cleaning the clutter, you're doing an internal and external cleansing. You're cleaning your intentions if you have impure intentions. If you wish other people harm, yet you want to manifest, there is a big mismatch here. We cannot manifest from a place of hate, even if you're holding a little bit of hate towards somebody. We have to have a pure heart, a very clean space to manifest from. It has to be internal and external in our environment as well. And not just materialistically, but also energetically, with all the things that we accumulate, with clutter, things that we do not need, things that hold trauma and negative energies from people that no longer align with our own frequency. We have to get rid of it. We have to move on. We have to be ready to let it go and detach from it. Remember, we're not detaching, we're not attaching, we're coming into a neutral space. This neutral space requires you to give up things that no longer match your frequency. It doesn't matter who it reminds you of. It doesn't matter if it was your great-great-great-great-great-grandmother who, it just has no space anymore. We lovingly place it somewhere where it's out of our vision. We don't have to destroy it, give it away, but it doesn't have to be in your direct vision. It has to be away from you so that you have a clean space to manifest from. Another thing, so embodying the lifestyle, then the next thing is opening up to wholeness, the idea of wholeness. So operating from wholeness, not from lackness, scarcity, but from wholeness. So there's one good thing in the New Age arena, and that's the law of attraction. Even though I don't fully subscribe to the whole notion of law of attraction, positivity, all that, there's some positive values in that. So manifestation essentially is manifesting from a place of empowerment, not lack, not desperation, not scarcity. Knowing thyself, knowing source, and being whole. Being whole means we align with everything. We consume, we see, we subject our mind to, thoughts, things like that, friends, companionships, partnerships, relationships, business relationships. All that creates wholeness. And by wholeness, I mean, sometimes we just have to see what people do, and even if we don't agree, we just have to be okay with it and stay whole in ourselves and not be knocked down by each thing being said, be offended by each thing being said. Be whole, knowing ourselves and knowing our source and knowing that we can stand strong no matter what. This wholeness will flow through you all the time, and it's very, very empowering. It's not also, what it entails as well is not declaring anyone outside of us more powerful. They hold the keys, but I don't hold the keys yet. No, you do hold the keys. You just need a little remembering how to do it. The noteworthy thing here, very noteworthy, is to mention that there's a big difference between prayer to an external being who will render you powerless and hopeless the minute you give that permission. Because it's like saying, I need your permission to obtain a license. I need a permission to get my certificate. It's like giving your power to that person, being, or facility or institution, because you're not perceiving that power within you. So that is the prayer. And the other thing, the contrast to that, is asking with sincerity, because this entails you connecting to your higher identity, stationed in your ideal manifest state. People all the time do it. They pray to external beings thinking that they are receiving. Sometimes that works because it actually a lot of sincerity behind it, and the heart energy fully sends a very strong message, and so they manifest that thing. But it's fully centered on one thing. It lacks depth. It lacks depth, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's aligned with one's highest vision, and it's usually not lasting. It's finite. It's given, but it doesn't always work. So the question becomes, what are you creating in your hologram? Are you working through patterns? Are you working through your shadow? Are you working through your distortions? Not to chase perfection, but embody healing. Remember, one of the things we need to manifest and really pursue is healing, because this is the space from where we manifest. We are naturally manifestors. Angelic humans have the organic DNA, the ability to naturally manifest. We lost it because we become disempowered. We forgot who we are. We forgot that we have that ability. So we become codependent on methods. And now we're living in the effect realm, or the realm of effect, rather than the realm of cause. In some ways, we are fallen angelics. We have fallen to an extent. We have, as a result, lost it. A lot of codes in our template. We have fragmented. We've forgotten connection to source. But that forgetting is what makes the remembering process so sacred. This is why we're all feeling it. We're all feeling the joy in remembering, because we don't have to learn something new. We already know it, and it's happening, and we just love the whole process of unfolding. So the invitation now is not to chase the light, but to host it, to embody it, to remember it, to heal, choose integrity, honor boundaries of others and yourself. Use your power to heal your timeline, and do not perpetuate chaos and polarity games within the hologram. Don't do that, because this will keep you stuck. Your intuition will guide you, your discernment, your core intelligence will guide you, but the choice ultimately is to always, if you have two choices, always choose a choice that will help you heal. And you must be sincere in that in order to remain on that path of manifestation. This is the path home. I hope today's session has helped and shed light on what manifestation is in general terms. I will go more in depth in the next episode. Stay tuned, and thanks for your support, for your love, and for being on this journey with us. Shalom.
Trust that a profound transformation is underway. As your thoughts and emotions realign, your energy and frequency naturally adapt and harmonize in response. As you breathe in and out, declare, I choose to live by the universal law of one.